Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning. Bharat.
Today we are continuing with the topic the sex question. Last week we just had a general overview of the topic, and today I request all of you to participate in the discussion. Today we will concentrate on the question whether overindulgence in sexual activity is harmful to health or not.
Okay.
Now, we will for today approach this question from a purely personal experience point of view, and it changes from man, and it changes from man to woman. For a man it is different, for a woman it is different, so we will see that also. And let us just discuss about this. We will take both the aspects, whether overindulgence is harmful or not, and as a corollary, the other topic, whether completely abstaining from such activity is harmful or not. So I request Yomkesh to start the discussion.
But Maharaj, first of all, I need to know like which we can consider which is overindulgence or which is not, like normal. That I don't know like how to define. Like if you have a statistics anything, then I would be able to tell you okay what like
Again, this is
my
also a
experience.
personal thing. This is also a personal thing. So it depends on person to person. So I request that as of today, for today, let us concentrate on the personal approach. What do you think is overindulgence, and what do you think sometimes do you feel that you are overindulging in it? And if you felt, then did you think that it was kind of weakening, or did you think, or did you actually feel that it was having an effect, harmful effect on your other activities? So let us today concentrate and make it from a personal perspective. We will come to the standard things later on, but just like overeating is also very personal, a person who is eating, say, 10 chapatis may be normal for a person, but for another person, more than 2 chapatis may be overeating. Similarly, here too, this is a personal question. So please discuss from your point of view uh, whether you ever went into this, and if at all, do you think this is something which is in some way detrimental to your physical health, or do you think that it was in some way interfering with your daily activities?
Okay.
Yogesh.
As per my experience, okay, let me start from my like initial stage from my life of my life. So when I think when I was in class um, 9 or 10 something, and that masturbation thing started. So after I think at 11 or 12, it was like 3 times a day or 4 times a day sometimes. Uh, and then I was like in the same day. So I was feeling so tired, and uh, then it was like an how can I express? It is like an entertainment for me. Okay, so I was not aware of this what I was doing. Then I gradually decreased that one in the college. But in college, when I was in engineering, in the first or second year, the friends among us, they were sharing like they were doing such activities for 5 times, 6 times a day. Okay, so I thought was this is not possible, and it was like fun. Okay, it was just fun, like everyone, people, everyone doing. And then after passing out my college, I decreased that one, like at least uh, weekly once or weekly twice, that way, because after having such activity I was feeling so much sleepy. For 2 days I was not feeling like I'm healthy or something. This is my personal experience, I'm telling. And and the married life, after that married life, I reduced that masturbation thing, very very minimal. And but my sexual desire was high. And like it is like, if I do some activities now, after 2 hour I feel again I have to do something, like some act again, even though I do not have capability to do, but my mind was saying to do such activities. Then after that I was feeling, again it was not at all joyful for me. Before start, like such activity, first time it was feeling something, oh, something attractive or something very good. Okay, I have to release something from my body. That was the motivation, and to release something. After that, uh, when I recently, not recently actually, I'll come to you this point after some time. Okay, then I started decreasing such activities gradually, like after our 1.5 year of our married life, when I was ill and I was searching, at some way I have to get some energy, good energy, how to do. Then I started decreasing such activities gradually. I got support also for those things. And uh, and when I am telling last 3-4 months of my experience. When I came back to Mayavati, and Maharaj, as you said, like we have to uh, uh, stop these things gradually. Then I started practicing. So when such urge come in my mind, I'm just by side uh, those things in my mind. And I thought I not involved either mentally or physically, at least for some period of time. So when I was able to control for at least 20 days, then I was not feeling, neither I am feeling dizziness, neither I am feeling weak, or neither I am feeling urge of that desire. So yes, before that, it was unimaginable for me to stop uh, these activities. I thought it should be like it is impossible, but now, yes, I would say it is possible. So this is my experience, personal experience.
We are trying to talk here about not whether we should stop it or not as of now. At least today, the discussion is about whether it is harmful or not. You are a person who is born and brought up in India. You have certain cultural and religious values. So you think that this is harmful and this is not good. And about the dizziness part, maybe that you have some nutritional problems, maybe your physique is not healthy, and that's why you felt this. How can you justify, how can you say based on these things that this in general, or if you say if you have a lot of food and if you are healthier, then can't it be told that it is not going to be unhealthy? How can you, based on these things, because you heard some monk say that this is bad, so that got into your mind, and maybe you are
No,
being
no,
fed these ideas since childhood, so probably you have this. How can you say that this is really bad for you?
no. You didn't say, like, some monk didn't say this is bad thing, but we like we have to decrease that one. That Why? Because like some energies that I don't think when those flu I never found like after passing those fluids after some time it is giving me an energy or something. It never, and it is not like this, like I'm always unhealthy or not nutritious ever. I don't think so. And I would like to say, like anyone, if anyone did such activity, you will say after 1 hour he is very healthy and he is motivated and he is feeling joyful and he can do any work with enthusiastic. Never. I can bet on it. I'll bet on that.
So you say that it is totally unhealthy. It has got no benefits at all.
Not totally. No, don't say totally unhealthy. But like if they uh, uh, take some pauses, or if he or like the person has to define like what is the period of pausing those activity, give him a good um, um, give him a good I could say enjoyment or healthy things, like he will feel joy or he can enjoy it. He has to decide what is that period of time.
Hmm.
I don't know about the woman part, but for mainly perspective I'm saying. But yes, that is true for my side.
Hmm. Shubhadev,
Yes, Maharaj.
what do you have to say?
Well, I do not have experience of married life as such. So, only being a single, only experience is limited to the masturbation thing only. So, yeah, like as Mukesh pointed out, I think it started around when I was standard ninth, or and so till a long time actually I was never aware that such a this thing seemed pretty natural, and it has nothing to do with means religion or spirituality. I was not aware of this fact. Means this has something to do with spirituality or religion. So it continued since many years. So when I after I came across after the initiation and all those, slowly when I came across that, okay, so means, this is not recommended for a spiritual aspirant. Then the effort started to in the direction of self control. But it was never easy, and there are mostly failures. But yeah, there are I have some success stories as well. So for some periods of time, I really got motivated, and I was able to restrain myself from such activities, but it's not always, and it is a continuous struggle. So that is all I can say uh, from my personal experience.
Hmm. The question again here is whether it is harmful or not. Now, forget about the spiritual part for now. Even physiologically, do you think or did you ever feel that it was kind of distracting, or it was weakening or something like that?
So, not initially, definitely not initially, but later on, with age, with maturity, with more understanding, you can see for yourself. Well, I could see for myself that, yeah, overindulgence is definitely not good. And if you overindulge, then means then you tend to feel weak, and you don't feel focused. You will feel drowsy. You maybe like to have more sleep, and that is one side of it. And other side of it is like if you indulge more, then means even though you may be able, even though you may be fit to again get into that kind of mental mode, but you basically your ability to self-control gets reduced more and more. And then you are anytime you come across certain advertisement or certain thing, then it can easily distract you more. So, from my experience, I can only say that the self control is basically what is gets weakened by indulging more into these activities.
So self-control, you translate self-control as the urge to indulge in such activities, or do you see self-control? Self-control is a very broad term, self-regulation, which also means that somebody tells you something which you don't like, and you control telling something bad to that person. That also comes in self-control. So do you say that indulging more in such activity actually triggers lack of self control, in the sense that you start telling, becoming irritable, you start scolding people for no reason at all? Do you mean to say that this leads to that?
No, no, not that, but the idea of self-control in the direction of lust. So, like as I said, so if you if you come across a certain advertisement, certain movie, certain song, then it means if you indulge more into these activities, then they can again they can easily again mislead you and distract you more. But if you are if you are cautious, then means then you are more or less fine. So these things are not able to distract you that much. Or when
Coming to the question again, that if it is not harmful, then what is the point in not indulging in it? Like, even if you are prompted to indulge in it again and again, what is the harm anyway? So you're just saying that indulging in it helps you, or makes you indulge in it more and more. So is that at all wrong? That is the question. Because if a person eats ice cream, has ice cream, the next time that person sees ice cream, wants to eat more. But is it really a problem eating ice cream? Similarly, here, if one indulges in this activity, if again the person indulges in it, is it a problem at all, physically speaking?
so, in case of ice cream or any other object, when a person watches ice cream, that time only he may feel to have an ice cream. But means ice cream will not play on his mind for the next 24 hours or next until the next time he goes out for ice cream. But in
Right.
case of this sexual desire, means
Right.
when he tries to abstain from it, means there are means this thing keeps on like coming back again and again. And then if he concedes to that, then means he finds himself weak, and again very with more frequency this desires keep
Desires.
distracting him. That is what I want to say. And his ability to control over these desires gets weakened day by day and with time. Then, as Bonkesh was telling, then we feel that okay, it is absolutely impossible to control these things. So, forgetting about all spiritual aspects or anything, whatever I want to, like if I want to study, or I want to watch a television show, or I want to do, I want to read a newspaper, that time, if even if I come across certain unwanted things, I should still be able to do my activity, whatever I want to, I have decided to. So that is where this ability of self-control from normal perspective, not with respect to any spiritual message as such, but whatever we have decided to do, that thing we should be able to execute it properly without getting distracted. But if we get in, means if we concede to these desires more and more, that then it becomes a problem, because when it hampers our regular day-to-day activities, then it is a more serious issue. Then if it comes once in a while and you concede to that, and it is doesn't hamper your other activities, and you are still able to focus and you on your regular work and your things with full dedication and commitment and hard work, then means, from normal perspective, it is fine as long as it doesn't hamper your regular work.
So you say that if it hampers your concentration and doesn't allow you to do whatever it is that you want to do, then it is really bad. So you are also saying that it does that. Means when you overindulge in this, then really it is a problem, and people do have problem concentrating on things. That is what you say.
Right, right, right.
Okay. Vandana, what do you have to say about this?
Whereas I feel excess of everything is really dangerous, and I don't know about this part, but yes, this from my parents and from my mother's, yeah, cousins, they just taught me to not when we were in the class till in the colleges, we're not able to discuss and we do not know anything about that. And I really thanks ki that kind of pressure was there from my family that I never involved in such kind of things. But laterly through friends, when I came to know about such things, then it becomes my curiosity to know, and that's everything. And even that part has making my activities disturbance, things was roaming around, and like thoughts are be like that. Then the thought arise ki if by listening things it was affecting that kind, so the practically it was really very harmful, and one person should not supposed to do. And I have very negativity for this part, so nothing.
Hmm. So you say that even being curious about things can be problematic. So people shouldn't be taught anything, and up to a particular age, they should not even know about these things. But there is a problem. There is a negative consequence of this, and that is that if a person is sexually assaulted, if a child is sexually abused, if the child is not given education to understand what is sexual abuse or what is child abuse, then the person or the child will become a prey or a victim of sexual abuse. So even if this is not told, even if such things is not are not told to children, then it has got harmful effect also. So that is another thing. And second thing is, do you really think that you can abstain from this for your entire life? Because there would be a point in time in your life when you will have to indulge in this sexual activity. So if you don't know anything about this, how will you indulge that? Just being away from this, is it going to solve the problem?
Uh, I never thought about that, but yeah, discuss in the family in the sense they make a very big deal. They make like a hawa, they make like a paap ho gaya, yeah, the child is going on the wrong track, and they every time they put the things. Even I never made such friends. Even from till I just have only one or two friends, not more than that, and they are really those who are having the part of the spirituality to whom I talk. And that thing slowly the things has come with the curiosity as a normal if we take things. I realized कि yeah, one person should know, but it not make that such a big deal that कि पाप हो गया kind वो वाला चीज I मतलब was literally if I came to know then I felt myself yo I had done something wrong to know and kind of even I was having the stress part also and I have kept even Nirjala Vrat what I have done and how can I forget such things and everything. So it takes me a week to come over from such situations and I felt कि it was very extremely part for my side which ऐसा नहीं होता किसी whenever people when I have general talk with my friends that this is the feeling this is the emotions which comes and like that and until unless I didn't came think that this happens to every human being it's normal part then that time I was be in heaviness that thing I know.
So because there was a taboo on this, and because in your family it was told that it is bad, that it is a kind of sin or pop,
Yeah,
you felt that these things are all bad. But you didn't actually understand the thing, and you didn't actually know what it is and what kind of activity this is. Now, you see, about religions and about cultural taboos, this is a very old issue or very old topic. All religions across the world and all conservative, quote unquote, cultures across the world say that masturbation or overindulgence in any kind of sexual activity, or some places even just any sexual activity, is sin and it should not be done. And in religions or in such religious cultures, it is directly associated with a lack of vigor, lack of health, etc. A person becomes weak, etc. And culturally also the same things are told. And then recently we see that religious people or religious leaders don't say that this is bad, but then they say that overindulgence in sexual activity is definitely bad and it is physiologically wrong. Now, we do not have any empirical evidence to suggest this, but we also don't have an empirical evidence to suggest the opposite. We don't have an empirical evidence to suggest that masturbation is not healthy, but we do have empirical evidence in the cases of sexual dysfunction to suggest that overindulgence in sexual activity does affect a person and create some problem. Though there are medicines for increasing the sperm count or decreasing or reducing sexual dysfunction, but still doctors do prescribe some abstinence from sexual activity for people who have a problem, dysfunction with sexual activity or sexual dysfunction. Now, here I want to just introduce all of you to a particular concept called autoeroticism, which is a medical way of telling um, of a practice of becoming sexually stimulated through somebody oneself. So it is not you become stimulated sexually by yourself. And the reason for the coinage of this kind of name or word by the British sexologist Havelock Ellis in 19th century was because of the lack of similarity or the quite dissimilar nature of masturbation in women and men. So this is a term which is applicable to both the genders, or if I may say, both all the three genders, male, female, and transgender. So autoeroticism means that you indulge in sexual stimulation by yourself. Now, today we need to talk about this because across the world, many people are working on this topic right now. How eroticism can lead to various kinds of psychological disorders, and also it can lead to various kinds of fatalities, means death caused by autoeroticism, because there are various kinds of it, but not because of simple what you call masturbation or something. But there are people who have all kinds of weird habits, all kinds of weird ways to sexually stimulate themselves. So these ways can cause what is called as gasping, and or it's called medically asphyxia, and they die. So now what we need to talk about is whether physically indulging in these types of autoerotic practices can cause any kind of weakness. Now, because as I said, for male and female, they are totally different. Now, I would request Anna to tell me whether, or tell us whether autoerotic practices, uh, as far as the female is concerned, woman is concerned, does it actually, from a personal standpoint, make you weak or something? Does it actually create some kind of disruption, as Shubhadeep was telling, in regular activities? Because for a woman, autoeroticism is not just restricted to the body, but it could be fantasizing, it could be also, it could percolate down to the dreams. So Anna, can you tell from your personal standpoint whether it really affects your daily routine?
Well, in the past, in my youth and so forth, it was these kind of activities where they didn't have very much negative connotations to them. So it was mostly positive. It was something to enjoy, something natural, something very exciting and fun. And so it didn't really have, it's only recently that I started really thinking about it and seeing it from different points of view. But there was no spirituality attached to it. It was basically just a natural thing to do that everybody did. And it was just pleasant and to be enjoyed. And I didn't really see anything negative about it, especially when it comes to like masturbation. It was just like the most natural thing to do that didn't involve anything complicated or so it could be just like a feeling came over, and then like you said, it was mostly involved in the mind, so it didn't even have to be really physical. It was just like a very pleasant experience to have in the mind, where you would create this fantasy and you would have this story. And so it didn't have anything negative attached to it, especially the masturbation. And definitely physical activity, it did have like very big consequences, because I do have 2 children. So, and that was always a fear to be pregnant again. And it was also not good for my health, because after the pregnancy, my health did deteriorate. And then also you're involved for many years, physically, emotionally, psychologically. It's very demanding to raise children. So, and at the same time to have, take care of everything else in your life, and then also like have a relationship, physically intimate relationship with your spouse. I think it was very demanding. So, especially when the children were young.
So you say that the problem was not so much about the thing being disruptive or something, it was only joyous. But the problem was about your becoming pregnant, or your getting a child, or entering into a relationship. Uh, so that is how you view that. Papia, have you anything to add to this?
Well, right.
Papia?
Yeah, so actually, Maharaj, I never got involved into auto-elitism kind of activity, so I cannot comment on that. And I don't really know, like how that thing can harm us or something like that. So
Okay. So Anna, did you want to tell something?
Well, there was also, y- there's always the worry of also sexually transmitted disease, and for just physical health, and also even there, especially for the women. I have known women who had to be hospitalized because they had cyst on the ovaries, and actually, the physical activity made the cyst burst or something like that. So a person I know actually needed to be hospitalized. So I know that even these kind of things happen, when there's actual physical injury because of the physical act. But I don't know anybody who got like injured because of masturbation. So
That can happen for anybody. Anybody who is driving a car can get into an accident. Anybody who is walking down the stairs can fall down and break one's head. So that really doesn't prove that these activities are harmful physically, because these things could happen to anyone practically, by doing anything. Now, do you think that a person who indulges in these type of practices, particularly in the youth or adolescence, has problems later on in self-regulation, self-regulated behavior, has problems in behaving or in interacting with people or in controlling one's emotions? Do you ever find a correlation? Personally speaking, did you ever find a correlation?
I'm not sure if it's it was not even a question back then, and it's even looking back, it's kind of hard to say if it was really that disruptive, because it was just something natural that was part of everyday life. So I'm not even sure if it was disruptive, but it probably would be right now, because I have different goals in my life, and
Because you
so it would
have
be.
started some spiritual practices. Anyway, spirituality,
Yes.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just from the physical uh, point of view, just from the physical standpoint, whether it has got any problem or not. Now, Nandini, what do you have to say about
Yes.
this?
As for the like physical part, it's I don't know much about it, but I think it's like psychologically throughout my adolescence, I have fantasized a lot about these things, and it is it is disrupting, and distracts. And one thing I'd like to share, when I was in school, it was means when like what will I say? Even before I came to experience these things, the I had been programmed in such a way from childhood that these things are wrong. But when I in school, when we started talking about these things and all, then my friends are like that. Yeah, these things have to be done, and if you don't do this, and then you'll never have a partner. Your boyfriend will leave you, and all this. So that was very disrupting, and mentally very. It was causing havoc, because from my childhood I've been grown up in such a everything was it was everything around me to suggested that it's wrong, and that thing it caused some mental havoc also. So physically it was out of question, but mentally I think it was very something it distracted me a lot. And I think whatever sexuality I have experienced, it's more of fantasizing and everything. So that is what I have to say.
Okay, now coming back to this fantasizing. So, do you think when you fantasize or you think something that way, do you think that it is uh, it is a distraction. It makes you not do things, as Shubhadeep said, which you wanted to do. So, do they distract it? Because, as I was telling, for a woman, these practices can come as fantasizing. So, do you think that happens?
Fantasizing for me is just like escaping from the real world for some time. So for some time, it's actually beneficial for us, but overindulging as thinking about it too much, or then it harms. Like when I'm trying to study or something, then it comes in again. Uh, so it has both sides of it. So I don't actually know. Um,
No, suppose
I
you are
think it's
thinking about somebody, how is it going to help you? What is the helping angle I didn't get? Do you really
help.
want
It's
to get away from this world? I mean, like when people take some drugs and they want to get high and be away, but that they cannot
Yeah,
be
that's
away.
not.
It is just temporary. So,
Yeah, that thing is right. So that's like it comes from the escapist mentality that I want to just forget everything and just think about this for some time, like sweet things and things. It's not right. Yeah,
no, it's not. I'm not talking about whether it is right or not.
should
We are
not be
talking
done
about
also
no.
because that
We are
doesn't
talking.
help you in any way. Just it's like a temporary satisfaction. That okay. Uh, Hello.
Yeah, but it does disrupt you. Does it disrupt you?
Yeah, it's disrupting because when I start thinking, it doesn't it's not like switch on and off, and so after some time it's difficult to stop it and carry on with my work. So it is disrupting.
Papia, what do you think about this fantasizing aspect?
Uh, yeah, Maharaj. I think this is some kind of distracting because I used to daydream a lot, and it's not only about sexual thing. It's just like anything, like daydreaming about anything else also, like about your career or something else, or even about sexual things also. So, like fantasizing is kind of a part of daydreaming, I would say, and any kind of daydreaming is not good. So it takes out a lot of time, a lot of precious time, uh, and all the time are wasted, and that's what I think. But the thing is, actually, this whole concept of fantasizing and having this kind of art, it did not really bothered me much. I would say it's so when if we go back to the main question, like if sexual activities are harmful or not, if you feel like doing it again and again after you do it once or not. So I have felt that way very limited number of times. That's what I would say. So this whole thing did not affect me a lot. That's what I say. But yes, this did affect me quite like for number of times. But they are not severe. Like it's like I wasted maybe some time thinking about that or fantasizing about that, but that's only it's not like after I think about that I could not sleep or I couldn't go back to my normal work or cannot carry any other activity. That did not happen actually.
Hmm. So you were okay with that? Means once that phase was over, you could go back to your activity, whatever you were
Yes,
doing.
yes. Yeah, and it did not continue for like every day or uh, every month or every day in a month or a year that I'm fantasizing or it is coming automatically to me. It did not happen.
Hmm.
Sometimes it came. Maybe if I watch something, then like any kind of movie or something where there is some kind of sexual activity was showing on, and then maybe for some period of time it came into my mind, but then it went away, did not stay for a long time.
So Shubhadeep, now we have some people saying that it was not so disruptive. So what do you say to this? Means our originally you said that if it disrupts what you want to do in a day, that creates problems. So now people are saying that it doesn't actually disrupt. So what do you say to that?
So yeah, so it is a subjective thing, right? So if it is disrupting their activities, then it is a problem. Means just taking the example of a food or something. So if I am taking food whenever I am going to the dining room and take food and then come back, and then I go to the toilet whenever it is required and do my work on the other timings, then it is fine. But if I am all the while engrossed with think about the food and the toilet, then so I am saying that if I take certain some food and then I have to rush to toilet say 5 times a day, and then it becomes a serious issue. Then means that food that I had taken must have been some toxic content in that. So similarly, I should be careful about what kind of thoughts or what kind of things I am indulging in, and if they are kind of making me indulge in these activities, say 5 times a day or some just an example. So then it is a problem. But if it is done with proper regulation and it doesn't hampers the day-to-day activities, then it is fine. It is depends on the person. So the person has to take the call whether indulging in the fantasies, fantasizing, or masturbation, or certain activities is actually causing disruption or distraction in their day-to-day affairs. So if it is, then it is a problem. If it is not, then means that the person is fine. So in that sense, but yeah, he has to take the call whether it is good for him or bad for him. When he decides it is bad for him or harmful for him, or as Anna pointed out, so after a point of time, if it is not suiting the age, the health, all the issues, the other activities, if I have to, if there are too demanding, my job is too demanding, and there is too much of mental work, that intellectual work that I have to do. If I get into this kind of activities, then it is means it takes away a lot of energy, right? So if say the soldier is there on the border and he has to be very alert and looking after the border and all these things. So, but if he indulges into these kind of things and it is taking a toll on his day-to-day task, then it is definitely a problem. So that is where a person has to be careful in what kind of things he's allowing. So just like the food example, so one has to be careful about what kind of thoughts are entering his mind and what kind of toll that they are having on his body or mind. That is all I have.
I think male destruction comes from male part. Like after listening this our discussions, maximum I think so. I don't know.
The main problem comes from?
The destruction most of the time from the male side.
Oh, no,
Destruction,
no,
when
actually, even other people said that even for a woman, when it is about fantasizing and other things, it does create problem.
I think for myself, it was a big problem during the teenage years where basically that was like the main topic to be discussed among friends and also to almost, it was like it took up all the aspects of life. So basically there was, yes, it was very disruptive to everything else, because this was the most intensive, the most important thing, pretty much, to think about and to discuss also with friends.
Right. And one more thing I found in college life, those things are crazy. Like I don't know how to say. Like there's too much of yeah, emphasis and nasty thoughts, and not nasty thoughts, like different angle of those thoughts. People are do like in engineering college, they are like doing like anything. Oh my God. I don't know for other colleges and other part, but in my college, I found people are crazy, like discussing, emphasizing those part, and people doing also.
Okay. So, Anna, have you got anything to add to today's points of discussion?
Not really, nothing I can think of right now.
Papia?
Not much. The only thing is, even I have this question, which is the main question of today's discussion: is it really harmful if it is not bothering me that much? If it is bothering me only once in a while, and like, is it okay to have a controlled relationship and or doing such activity, or it is something that it is harmful even indulging in such an activity even once?
This question has got many answers. So, because now we are talking only from the physiological standpoint, we should, if it doesn't become an addiction, if it doesn't become something which you cannot control, then of course there is no harm, physiologically speaking. Um, but then, of course, we have other aspects to discuss, and spiritually, of course, indulging in such activity is harmful to your spiritual life. So that is definitely true. But physiologically speaking, unless it becomes an addiction, there is no problem.
Okay.
Shubhadeep?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it basically means it drains away a lot of your energy. Means sometimes people want to get excited and want to get high, and this is one way to release that high energy that one wants to get away. That means because due to stress and due to various environmental factors, people sometimes want to like indulge in this, as Nandini was saying. So it is momentary, like escapism from the day-to-day troubles and day-to-day like other stress that one comes across. So this is one way to vent out that stress. So, but if it is done on a like uncontrolled way, then it takes away a lot of your energy, and then it plays on your mind. That is the most difficult part, and particularly as Bunkesh was telling, so if you have a like a friend circle and your environment from where you are always all the while catching up these kind of thoughts, and then you become very susceptible to such thoughts and such ideas. So one has to be more careful in what kind of company one indulges in, and that way, and the kind of words that he speaks. I think that is very one thing that I have noticed in my college days and all also. So I have seen like friends, those who are all the while using slang and unparliamentary languages. So, but there were friends, those who had more self-restraint on the kind of words that they were using and the kind of things that they were talking. So so those they are small indications in what the person is the mind the person is carrying. So if it is a person has some control over his mind and thought, then it is better to indulge with have friendship with such people than the other people. So in that way, one should also be careful about the kind of media, the kind of other tools and gadgets from where they are picking up such ideas and thoughts, where he loses the self-control.
Shubhadi, sorry, Byomkesh?
Yeah, Maharaj. I have nothing to say. Like Shubhadev pointed out correctly. I agree with him, and I would say like yes, people should. From my experience, I would say like uh, they should scale that uh, that point, which should not be a burden just for him, and he should not he should take care of his activity when activity means normal activity where he needs a lot of concentration. In that looking at that aspect, he has to restrain those kind of thoughts or fantasy in his mind or involved in such activities. uh, Otherwise it is really difficult to control yourself and do such good activities with the concentration.
Anna, any closing note?
So
No, I think if we're discussing it, on the purely physical level, I think, and when there's definitely the issue also like of the hormones that give you like a high, and even before, you're feeling very, very elevated and elated and such, and then afterwards, because just chemicals, even in your body, they react, and you end up with a low. So I think a lot of people they feel it's basically like a drug. So they get the high and then they get the low. So there might be like depression on a biological chemical level that might also be as a result of intimate physical relations.
Okay, so today we have discussed this. Hopefully, if in the next week we get some other people, some experts to talk on this, then it will be wonderful. And that's it. So for today, I think we have discussed these things. And if you also come across anyone or come across any particular person or particular idea, so you can share when we meet next time. And today I think the discussion was good because of a lot of participation, and I expect that will be the case the next week also. And next week is 19th. So 19th we will have the same discussion continuing, but if the physical part gets over, then we will move on to the psychological effects